Kia ora tātou. My name is Chris Eichbaum, and it's good to be talking with you here this morning on what's a grey day in Masterton, but the rain's coming through, and no doubt there are folk out there in the rural sector who are saying this is a good thing, and hopefully our friends and relatives further up the island are going to get some too, and our friends in Auckland. Those people who have chosen to, for whatever reason, live in Auckland City, they'll be getting a bit of water too. Now, I'm Chris Eichbaum, and this is a promo for a new program. I'm delighted to have been given the opportunity by the wonderful folk here at Access Radio to have a weekly program on politics. Now, before you turn the off button on, please don't. Just give me a minute. I'm one of these people who actually believes that politics is fundamentally a good thing. It's a good thing. And that people get into politics mainly for good reasons. They get into politics to make a difference, to change things for the better. So this is going to be a program about politics, about the political issues of the day, about the people, about the parties. It's an exciting year for politics in Aotearoa, New Zealand, because we've got an election coming up. And in this past week, we've seen a very significant change in our National Party opposition party, with Todd Muller taking over the reins of power from Simon Bridges. So that's all new and that's all exciting. But you're not going to get my views. This isn't an opportunity for me to tell you what I think. It's an opportunity for us to have a conversation, for me to talk to people, for you to let me know by way of email, maybe Twitter feeds, what it is that you'd like to talk about and whether you think this is good, bad or indifferent. And we're going to have some music. Now, my preference is for New Zealand music, and I'm going to play a track now from somebody who is my favourite New Zealand musician. I think he's also probably one of our leading poets. I think he's a gifted individual, and quite a bit of his music, funnily enough, has a political bent to it, although sometimes you've got to look really, really closely to find the politics. I don't know, actually, that there's a lot of politics in this track. It's just a beautiful track. It's a beautiful track about a beautiful part of the country up north on the west coast, and some of you will have heard, no doubt, about a dolphin that used to visit a harbour up there, Opo, the friendly dolphin. So Opo gets a mention in this particular track as well. So here is Don McGlashan.
Say when people get to the water, they don't undress, they just keep on walking out from the beach. The same men weep when they see the dolphin. He comes in close and does tricks for the children just out of reach. Coming down the hill, oh, they say he lets you go right up and touch him. They say he lets you ride on his back on slippery and gold. And the sun comes in through the hot windscreen, trees reach out all dusty and green along the road. comes in through the hard windscreen. Trees reach out of dusty green. Long, long road. Long, long. Are you going? We're going. Are you going? Sun comes in. Sun comes in. Long, 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 long. Miracle sun. Get to the water. Don't undress this. Keep on walking out from the beach.
And that was the amazingly talented Don McGlashan and his composition Miracle Sun. So, as I said, this is a promo for a program which has the title The Political Pulse. And we, at this stage, may well be going to air next week. And the timing of the broadcast will be starting at midday. Now, I indicated the kinds of topics that we'd be looking to have conversations on, and indicated that at times it may be on current events, and that it's not going to be an opportunity for me to conduct some kind of sermon from Arrow FM about what I think it's going to be an opportunity to have conversations about important things. And they are important things. So, I mean, even if we get a little bit serious for a moment and we reflect on where we are, and we're in COVID level 2 at the moment, and we reflect back on going into lockdown at level 4, and we reflect on the people who are making those decisions, and we reflect on the people who are holding to account those who are making the decisions. That's politics. And so one point I quite often make is that you may not be all that keen on politics. You may be like that person I saw down at the farmers market a couple of weekends ago when I said, I'm going to be starting to do a program on Access Radio on politics, and he sort of harumphed and walked off muttering darkly about who's bothered with politics anyway. Well, you don't have to necessarily love it, and you don't have to necessarily sort of live on it every day, but it is important that we understand that politics matters and it impacts on our lives day in, day out. So those people who made decisions, and I think that setting aside any kind of partisan or party political view, I think we can all take a degree of satisfaction and comfort, pleasure, pride from the fact that we've had good decisions being made by good people who have been incredibly well advised by very, very good public servants. And they're part of the political realm as well. And I think that really they get a bad deal. I was disappointed over the last week to hear public servants being referred to as bureaucrats, people living in these offices who are unaccountable with lots of power. And in my experience with most people in the public service in New Zealand, whether they're working in Wellington offices with sharp pencils drafting policy, or in fact whether they're working for Work and Income New Zealand and Masterton, wherever they happen to be, they're doing a good job by the citizens of Aotearoa, New Zealand. Anyway, this is a promo. It's just an opportunity for me to introduce myself. I want to play another track, and then I'll have a few words to say before we go. So this next track, for those of you who are joining us by way of a local TV stream, you'll actually get Radio with Pictures. Now, it's a program that I grew up with, and some listeners out there may recall the grumbly voice of, I think his name was Barry Jenkins, who used to front Radio with Pictures. So this is Radio with Pictures, and this particular number is going out to a university in Wellington.
Hey, I'm just cutting in here for a moment because, not because I know any more than Chris, but because for some reason the dance exponents aren't cutting in and it's just not good enough. So we're going to try and do something about it. Is it coming off? The sound should be coming off there, but it's not for some reason. Oh, it should be coming off spare. Look, this is really tedious for you, the listener and the viewer, but I'm trying to work this out. Why? This is good, isn't it? Because you don't want this to happen during Chris's actual program. I'm going to try and take it back to the start, hey? That's always a good thing. And see if I've given him a bum steer, because that's usually what happens. It's not the person's fault. It's something that I've said.
Well, citizens, as Barry Jenkins would have said once upon a time, we apologise for the technical glitch. For those of you watching on the television, you would have seen the wonderful video that the exponents put together for a equally wonderful song And that song was and is Victoria, hence my earlier reference to a university down in Wellington, with which I still have an association. So look, before signing off, just a wee bit about me. I reside in Masterton on the lifestyle block with my partner, one dog, hello Millie, 4 alpacas, 10 sheep, assorted chooks, and 5 white ducks. I was until recently in the full-time employment of Victoria University of Wellington, where I taught public administration, public policy, politics. And I taught at Massey for a while, but I've also had stints working in government, and that includes stints working for prime ministers on the 9th floor of the Beehive, and ministers on other floors. I think it was floor 6. And I've also worked in the public service, both here in Wellington and in Canberra. And I studied in Canberra. I'm originally from Christchurch. That's my Turanga Waiwai. But now living in Masterton and thoroughly enjoying everything that Masterton has to offer, including Access Radio. So that's enough for me for the time being. I look forward to talking with you, viewing at you, with you, within the next couple of weeks. There's an email address. It's my Victoria University email address up on the Arrow FM Access Radio website. And if there's anything you'd like to say to me, like slow down, or I don't like Don McGlashan, or I don't like the dance exponents, or how about playing some Mantovani or something like that, or if it's a suggestion about something we might include in this political town hall meeting we're going to have every week or so, please just let me know. I'd really value your feedback. So be safe, be well, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon.